Thank you, Madam Chair, and we are pleased that we're having this hearing today. Welcome, Secretary Vilsack, and back to the committee. We appreciate all of your hard work, not only in this Congress, but in past Congresses. I know everyone in this room has heard me say this before, but based on the last census, 53 of 75 counties in Arkansas have lost population. That is 71% of Arkansas counties. Across the United States, 53% of our counties, or 1,660 out of 3,140, lost population in the last census. I'm certain that all my colleagues on this committee are concerned about the hollowing out of our states and our country and the impact that this will have on the future of America. I know this has been a major theme of yours, as you've talked across America in the last 2 years. At the end of this Farm Bill process, I would like to go back to rural Arkansans and tell them that we put policies and programs in place that will improve their quality of life and give their children and their neighbors' children reason to return home. In my mind, ensuring this country has a vibrant and economically sustainable agriculture economy is key to accomplishing that goal. The headwinds for our producers are great. For only the third time in 55 years, we're expected to have a trade deficit in agriculture, and no two trade deals have been signed or are under negotiation. This will be the most expensive crop on record, at $460 billion, and follow last year's previous record of more than $440 billion. Farm debt is over $500 billion at $535 billion. Input costs are still high. Supply chains are easing but remain tight. Interest rates have rapidly increased and by percentage represent the largest cost increase our producers will face this year. Farm production costs have increased 28% or nearly $90 billion. Many do not understand the amount of capital required to farm these days. During the fiscal year 2022, the average size of the Farm Service Agency's guaranteed operating loans, often used for our young and beginning farmers and ranchers, was nearly $330,000. The capital cost of getting into agriculture is enormous, and farmers are going to have to rely more heavily on credit this year. How many other jobs require that you take out the loan the size of a mortgage or larger each year? And in order to pay that back, you must contend with the weather, the markets, the economy, and global politics. These are many of the reasons why when I meet with my farmers, they all tell me the safety net is badly frayed and needs to be reinforced. The 2014 Farm Bill was successful in moving agriculture away from direct payments to need-based support during times of low prices or low revenue. That was nearly a decade ago, and farm programs have not kept pace with the needs of modern agriculture and are not responsive in the face of pandemics or geopolitical pressures. The current safety net does not reflect the current levels of risk taken on each year by those that provide the food, fiber, and fuel we depend on. As we address these risks, it's critical that we not get consumed by a small farm versus big farm conflict. While 89% of the farms in the U.S. are classified as small by USDA and contribute nearly 18% of farm production, there are 3.2% of farms classified as large that contribute 46.5% of our nation's farm production. All farms are valuable. This Farm Bill will not neglect the small nor punish the large. We must also acknowledge that programs within this Farm Bill that relate to trade promotion, research, basic infrastructure in rural communities, bolstering the infrastructure to protect our flocks and herds, and so many other important programs must be considered. This Farm Bill covers much more than simply conservation, nutrition, and green energy, which have received a $300 billion windfall since the last Farm Bill. Before I close, I'd like to mention one final issue, the importance of a productive working relationship between Congress and the technical experts at USDA as we develop the Farm Bill. Senator Stabenow and I are proud of the accomplishments that we made in the last Congress. And in every instance where we've been successful, we've experienced constructive and timely technical feedback from USDA. the Keep Kids Fed Act, providing support for summer meals for children, and the Growing Climate Solutions Act, which Senator Braun led, are examples. Senator Braun and Senator Stabenow led are examples of the great things we accomplished with USDA providing invaluable technical assistance. I am growing increasingly concerned about USDA's ability to provide timely responses, however. Just yesterday, I received a response to a letter I wrote to you in October, which was not entirely responsive. We really depend on USDA as we write the Farm Bill because we need to understand how the policies we're considering would be implemented. We very much enjoy working with your staff, but again, the lack of responsiveness lately has been disappointing. And it's not only from me, it's from members on our side of the aisle, and a lot of this is actually inquiries that are bipartisan inquiries. So it's something that I'd like for you to look at and see if we can resolve, because it really is going to be a key factor as we head into the Farm Bill. Thank you, Madam Chair.